Welcome to this Patreon early access exclusive episode of Conspirament, featuring our guests, these guys.
Did we really name it Conspirament?
Yes,
Is that
we
the
did.
finalized?
That's the final.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's the final title.
This reminds me of who was it? Bill Murray's show in Ghostbusters 2.
I don't remember that.
What? It's the opening.
It's been so long.
It's like the first thing you see in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, today's
You did a good job,
okay,
buddy.
Thank
You
you.
did
Thank
fine,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, I know I did. Today's conspiracy is the Men in Black, not the movie. The actual conspiracy of this guy in black.
The conspiracy of Will Smith.
Yes. I'm Gary, your host. These are my co-hosts. These guys.
Nothing's going to
Introduce
get done for this
yourselves.
whole podcast.
Introduce yourselves, these guys.
I'm Benny, also known as the Comic Historian.
Yeah.
This is most likely in locations where you already know who I am, but if you don't, because this is on iTunes and stuff like that as well, I'm Benny. I run a channel called the Comic Historian. I handle things involving comic books, and I like conspiracies and ghosts and weird stuff in the world.
And monsters.
And monsters.
Ghouls.
Yes. I follow Cthulhu.
Do you?
I'm a Cthulhuist.
Yeah.
I read the coolest thing. Somebody asked the question, what would happen if Cthulhu rose? And I read one where they were like, the monster will rise from the deep. And then there was another one where just the world goes insane and descends into madness and destruction.
That's what happens when my Lord and Savior, Cthulhu
rises.
Yeah. I think when anything out of the ordinary on a mass scale happens, people will probably lose it.
Yeah.
All right, Dan T. Editor.
I am Dan T. Editor. I am a producer here at Comic Historian. I stream at Eligible Monster. I am also one of the hosts at Eligible Monster, and I love being a guest here at the Conspirament.
Great.
Well, that was nice,
That's
short,
Dan.
and concise.
And then this is the guy who explains comics.
Yeah. I'm
He's
Rob.
he's got a channel.
I'm Rob.
Got a channel.
I talk about things. Sometimes they make sense. Most times they don't.
So anyway, we are going to talk about the Men in Black. I want to propose this scenario to you. You see something strange at night. Okay. Now lights in the sky, whatever it is. The Mothman.
Dan showing up to edit a video at 8 p.m. and I didn't think it was there.
Yes. You see something strange. You tell your friends about it. You don't post it on social media. You don't post it you don't call the newspaper.
Okay.
The newspaper.
Question.
Yes.
Is this strange thing that we're seeing in the neighborhood?
Sure.
And in that case, is there somebody in particular we should call?
No.
No?
That's for a different video.
Okay. I was going to say, please help me understand the reference.
But the point is, so you see some lights in the sky. And you just tell your friends about it. You don't tell the newspaper anything. The next day, 3 strange men in black suits, black hats, and black sunglasses walk up to your door and start questioning you about what you saw. And their details of what you saw are just unbelievably accurate. Okay. And then they start warning you not to tell anybody. Their speech patterns are strange. Their skin tone is a little weird. Just everything about them just seems a little off.
Okay.
And they know way too much about you. Now these guys visit you after this sighting. Now you haven't posted this to social media or anything.
Okay.
What's your reaction?
How the hell did you find out?
Yes.
My next reaction would be, Dan, did you say something on Twitter about where we live again?
You posted it on Instagram.
Hashtag creepy thing in sky.
I mean, my advice would be just my stance would just be I'd be like, okay, guys, and I would shut the door, and then I would never tell a soul, because that's what freaks me out. Armed guards doesn't freak me out. Like FBI showing up on my door, because to me it comes off as Gestapo tactics.
Yeah.
Men in Black, that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
So if I'm calling you and you don't answer, I can assume a Men in Black visit has happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Or you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Every time.
No, everything would proceed just as normal. It's just I wouldn't tell a soul what I saw.
Yeah.
I would
Or you wouldn't even tell them about the Men in Black, probably.
Yeah.
Be like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would take that old Italian mobster phrase. If I was there, I didn't see anything. I have no idea what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's basically the conspiracy of the Men in Black. There are these stories throughout the 20th century, and I believe even into the 21st century, of people just seeing strange sights, mostly UFOs and things of that sort. And these Men in Black, dressed in all black, very strange behavior, coming to these people's homes, asking them questions. They have way too much details, they understand way too many details about the event, more than somebody getting a report would. And then they start warning these people not to tell anybody else. That's pretty much the entire conspiracy of the Men in Black. Now, there's no stories of them being, named Agent K and J.
Well, that's because they told those people to not tell anyone.
And they have the thing that blinks at your memory.
That too.
I really want to
The
own one of
neuralizer?
those. I'd love to have one of those because I would
Yeah.
just mess with people. I would just run up on folks and just be like, bam!
You forgot 20 years of your life.
You'd run up on people and wipe memories for a joke.
Oh, dude, I'd be a dick. Dude, I'd vlog it too. I'd make YouTube videos out of it. Be like, what's going on, guys? This is Ron. Today we're going to wipe some folks' memories. And you just run up on
Oh
folks.
my God, you would too.
The thing is, you have
See
to
you
wipe.
running around
Yes.
downtown Denver like, do you know what coffee you like? Yes. You still know what coffee you like? Yes. Every year's going out.
Yeah.
But then you have to replace it with a planted memory. You have to describe another memory.
No. I just want to see what happened. They
You
just stand there
just
vacant.
neuralize.
Yeah.
So they just lost
You
the
just
day.
basically lobotomize people.
Yeah, you just
No, they wouldn't
You
be
just run around,
lobotomized.
haha, lobotomized.
They've
Why
lost-
do I have a
lost-
feeling Rob would be the guy that would be like, ha ha, it'll be facing it.
Yeah.
No. See, I'd be like, excuse me, how old are you? It's like, well, I'm 36 years old. It's like, okay, so like 25 years ago, you were in like elementary school, right? And it's like, yeah, and it's like whatever grade they were in. It's like, okay. And then I'd adjust the thing and just be like, can you check this out? Bam! And they're like, oh my God, I'm late for class. And you see like a grown man running back to his 5th grade elementary school. And it's like, I
You
gotta
would
check class.
ruin someone's life because it would be hilarious for
I
you.
mean, yeah.
Because, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but in the movie, you don't just get your memories back.
Oh, I know they're gone.
they're gone forever.
Okay, I wouldn't do it.
Well, you can get them back.
Oh, you didn't Agent K get it back?
Yeah,
somehow?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Second one.
I would honestly, I'd probably stop after like the first day or two. Like, probably the second day I would stop.
But there would be a few
you would
people whose
start-
lives are
Once you-
replicably. You would mess with people's heads.
What would stop you? Would you
I'd probably
finally
just
start
get bored.
feeling bad? Oh,
No,
you'd
no,
get
I would
bored.
get- I'd
Be
get
that,
bored. Yeah,
Oh, you
I'd
get
get
would it
tired.
bored.
be that,
Yeah.
or would it be a couple men in black showing up at your door saying you can't tell anyone about this mind wiper,
We'll be taking that. from you.
or us?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, imagine the applications. Like, you could just be like a criminal, and just go rob banks. And it's like, you like walk into a bank. It's like, give me all your money.
Okay, that I
know.
might do. I might
Yeah.
take
And
a
then
mind
go,
wiper,
haha,
rob a
you
couple
never
of
gave me
rob a
money.
couple of
Okay.
banks, wipe out the memories, and then throw
Yeah.
it away.
It
Oh,
doesn't-
I mean, but
It-
see, to me, that's a practical purpose. Like, I'd also
Right.
do it just like for fun. Like I would pull up to like a drive-through,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, yeah, let me get like a crunchy taco. And they'd be like, okay, like your total is like like $1.99, whatever it is, at like the first window, second window, whatever. Like, I'd pay, then I pull up to the window, and I'd be like, hey, and they would be like, here you go, and then I'd be like, bam, have a good day, and then I would just drive off, and they would just be sitting in there.
I can
just-
imagine you having like a really bad day, and then somebody, Benny comes over. He's like, "Rob, what's going on? You just seem kind of down. Do you want a soda? Can I get you anything? Do you want to go neuralize people?" He's like, no. He's like, "Oh man, something really is wrong." He doesn't want to neuralize.
He doesn't want to
anybody.
neuralize people. He doesn't want to wipe their memories. I think it'd be
Yeah.
kind of funny. I think
So-
it'd be funny.
Cool. All right.
Okay.
So the
probably back
first,
to the topic.
yeah,
Yeah, I
we're
was
getting
gonna
back to the
say, did
topic.
they say like make
of-
Rob
of-
stop talking?
Yes.
No. I
no.
said he's got to speak up a little more.
great,
'cause
yeah.
The mics are not near him.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Those mics. I was like, I think this can hear me.
Oh yeah, no, the Twitch people can't hear you.
So this conspiracy theory goes all the way back to 1947.
Okay.
It's called the Maury Island Incident. A man named Arnold A. Dahl saw some UFOs at Puget Sound. And then the very next day, these men in black visited him. And it was, unfortunately, the theories about the men in black they're not like the Illuminati, where you have like thousands of years of history on it's just, it started in 1947, and literally all we know about these men in black is that they're
men in
that
black.
they're men in black. They don't sound right, they don't look right, and they know too much detail.
What do you
So
mean by
what
they
do you-
don't
what do you-
sound or look right?
So I was getting
They
to that.
sound
yes.
like they've got
Yes,
voice
I was
distortion.
This is the man in black.
It's okay. So this is where the theory gets really strange. It's not that they have like voice changers or that the voice just sounds synthetic. Their speech patterns are just out of place and out of time. So they'll make like cultural references to seem relevant that just aren't relevant. They wouldn't say
So
they
it's like
sound.
your dad taking you to school.
Yeah, basically. They sound programmed by somebody who only is sort of familiar with the language and the culture. And this is one of the most disturbing things about the Men in Black, is that just listening to them talk is you can tell something's off.
Okay.
Like they're either not all there, or it just seems very fake. Like the way they talk just seems not robotic, just out of place. Just very out of place and just very strange.
It's kind of like when someone's speaking in a different language and they're still not truly understanding how
Yes.
talking like that works.
Yes. So what this says here is that the MIBs tend to speak in a monotonous, mechanical tone, often with a strange accent. Witnesses have reported that their sentence construction and choice of words was peculiar.
Ooh, peculiar.
Peculiar.
So it's the kind of thing where, like, if I were to knock at Rob's door and I'm just in a black suit,
Yeah.
he would be like, Benny, it's Benny in a black suit.
Yeah.
But you would be able to tell the difference between Benny, men in black in the black suit.
Yes.
Because of the way I'm talking, the way I'm acting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would be like I was talking like this to you in a normal sense, but I was talking and it was monotonous.
and then you
aren't
said,
those
and then you
I'm
said
not
groovy.
actually
amazing?
Yeah.
doing
And then you
this.
said groovy. Groovy.
Rad, dude.
So you know who I would want to
dude.
show up at my door like that?
Who?
The smoking man from X-Files.
Yeah.
Because then he
You
would
would
be like,
want him to show up to
yeah,
your
he's
door.
like,
No, you don't want the smoking
Yeah.
man to
no,
show
no,
up.
I would, because I would be like, he'd be like, yes, I'm here to talk to you about some things you may have seen, and he's just like, and it's like, dude, like, I have seen you on X-Files so often, like, dude, like, come inside, man, like, dude, let's
just
chill,
chat.
yeah, let's have a cup of coffee, like, tell me about the crazy stuff you see, and it's like, well, I've seen things you wouldn't believe, aliens are real.
He doesn't sound anything like that.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. But I mean, I'm trying to capture like
That's
this.
Rob's. That's
That's
Rob's.
Rob's
Rob's version of
interpretation.
smoking
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay, so typical encounter, MIBs traveling in groups of up to 3. Okay, I just have to say something on like, just as an aside for this. It is very difficult finding information on Men in Black
Isn't that the intention?
since 1997.
Oh, I bet.
Wait, what?
Since
Oh, that-
1997,
Because it's
yes.
the movie.
If it were pre-97 and the internet was then what it is now, I could find actual conspiracy theories and
my
more
gosh.
information on Men in Black. But now that the movies come out,
what if that's why the movies came out? So
Plausible
that we,
deniability.
Exactly. Now
Yeah.
people go, oh, you're clearly just talking about the
Yes.
movie.
No.
That's
Yeah.
fake because it's the movie.
I'm telling you, I Googled Men in Black with multiple, different like
Right, SEO.
yeah,
stuff.
exactly. And most of what I got was just the movie. It was Men in Black facts. Here's facts about Will Smith. It was Men in Black theories. Here's how the next it was all just movie stuff. And
Wow.
I honestly I think it's a pretty good cover up.
It would
If
be
you-
perfect
yeah,
because
exactly.
no one would be able to have a conversation. Because Men in Black is such a well-known movie, even for
Yes.
people who have never seen Men in Black.
Yeah.
Isn't
And-
that a theory in a theory?
Yeah.
Yes, it's a theory in a theory.
It's
That-
basically them going.
Theoryception.
Yes.
Yeah. Theoryception.
Now
Exactly.
here's a question: does the movie Men in Black theory move at a slower time speed than the actual Men in Black in the real world theory?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
We have to neuralize you now. So anyway, I just thought that was interesting, and that just adds to the theory because pre-97, if you said Men in Black, people would just be like, oh, it's just guys dressed in black. What are you talking about? And then the movie comes out, and
It's
and
the
Men in
movie.
Black
I
is
mean,
the movie.
That makes sense though.
Yeah.
That like an actual Men in Black, like an actual group, like unidentified government agency. It makes sense that like a group like that would exist, especially if it's after 1947, because one, you're talking about the atomic age, and it stands to reason that if humanity was ever going to draw the attention of an extraterrestrial race, it would be the atomic age, like developing weapons of mass destruction like that, or using atomic energy for numerous applications. And then it would make sense that if when you follow that up with things like Roswell, then in turn it would make sense that like aliens have been here the entire time, and that like the Men in Black are basically just aliens masquerading in human form or something along those lines, and like making sure the average general public doesn't know. See, it's like The Colony, where like aliens are working with humans, but more in a dominant capacity. You ever see The Colony?
They did that in Sliders too.
No.
You got to watch it on Netflix. It's
The lizard
amazing.
alien people.
Yeah.
Ooh,
They worked with humans, but
reptilians.
you were slaves.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What were they called?
Yeah.
They weren't the main bad guys. What were the main?
They were,
bad
in the
guys?
end, they were the main bad guys. The lizard race of people from another dimension. Sliders' main villains.
That took they took the girl away. What were their names?
Anyway,
They weren't like
I believe their names were the Men in Black.
Men in Black.
they weren't like Grong.
So fun side,
Yes.
little tangent.
Yes.
If you look up Sliders' main villain, You get a bunch of little burger sliders with hot sauce.
That's another one. That's a conspiracy in itself. Yeah, you Google sliders, and it's not the show.
it's burgers.
It's burgers.
Little burgers.
Dude, White Castle sliders?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
dude,
no,
I grew
I
up with
miss
some White
those.
Castle
Oh,
around
the
there.
onions.
Yeah.
Oh man.
They do White
Anyways.
Castle. Did you ever find out what the name of the reptile?
No, because it came up with burgers.
Would you just look at the first result?
No, I went down the whole page. It's all burgers.
Sliders TV show villain.
So
I did that.
White Castle has a villain.
Really?
Apparently, White Castle has a
Wow.
Sliders villain.
The
The Big
Sliders
Mac.
villain.
Diabetes.
The Big Mac, whatever.
Diabetes. Diabetes is a villain.
So, MIBs, typical encounter. Traveling in groups of up to 3. Usually visit recent UFO witnesses and warn them not to report their encounter. They often claim to represent some government agency, which invariably proves to be false, and briefly flash official-looking ID. Those visited by MIB often feel ill afterward, sometimes for days.
This sounds slightly like Supernatural, since we were talking about that earlier.
What
Okay, how so?
In the
How
sense of
Chromax.
There we go. Yeah,
And
that one chick, she wanted a pay increase. They wouldn't give it to her, so they wrote her out. And she was essentially like a breeding colony.
Supernatural. Go.
Supernatural.
I wanted to make sure I
Yeah,
didn't lose my train of
Supernatural.
thought
Yeah, yeah.
for the complete random
Hold on, you
tangent.
can't keep your train of thought.
Supernatural.
No, because
Yeah.
I'm not like you guys.
He's not programmed like you guys. Oh, just
I'm very
reveal your
short term.
robots.
We're Men in Black.
Supernatural.
So
Yes,
supernatural in the sense of whenever something would happen, it traveled by word of mouth, and Sam and Dean somehow found out about it through word of mouth, even if they weren't in that area.
Okay.
They went there, they showed up, often in black suits, and would show some sort of identification claiming they were from either some government or we're working with the health inspectors.
Yeah.
We're doing this. They basically implied they were someone of a reputable position or a position of authority, and they would be allowed to investigate these things, and then they would similarly tell them not to tell people because they didn't want the widespread panic. They didn't want, they wanted to basically have it they took care of it and it never really needed to go out from there.
Right.
Because that kind of sounds like them of just people showing up. Because, I mean, obviously when you're watching the show, it makes sense. Like, oh, we're seeing how they get that. The people who are experiencing this, they're like, oh, I saw some sort of demon in my closet, and then 2 people show up saying that they work with the local police,
Right.
with the local sheriff department saying, hi, we heard that there's been some sort of demonic thing. Let us come take a look at this.
Yeah.
And it kind of has a vibe of that Men in Black theory of people just showing up without having any true reason, pretending there to be of certain authoritative positions and doing their thing.
Okay.
I mean,
Supernatural's great.
It is.
Supernatural is great. I would be more freaked out if, like, actually, I think it'd be kind of cool if, like, when the Men in Black show up, they actually play like the theme song to the movie. You know, so like a black car with black windows pulls up, and
You got
like
a little pug in the back seat.
no, well, yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like you really can't hear the music. Like you can just hear like the bass rattling, you know, because it's like boom, you know, and then like they open the door and it's like Men in Black, and then like they shut the door and then like the music goes.
There's
back to being
slight
silent again.
fog coming out.
Yeah, and they
Let's
come-
be
they come walking
nonchalant.
out.
They'll
Yeah,
never guess
so-
that we're coming in, Dan.
Yeah.
Play that beat.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, the Men
we
in
need
Black
to
are here.
we need to fit in. We need to play dope beats.
If someone
Play
did,
it with Deb Stop.
if someone did pull up playing that
Yes.
song,
Yes.
got out, they were Men in Black here to question me with something I saw, it would be the weirdest thing ever just happened.
Hold on.
You want
Can I
me to
get an
tell
autograph?
nobody about this meeting? Why did you show up like that?
Yeah.
I'm telling everyone now.
I already tweeted it. It's got 30
I
likes.
filmed you pulling up.
My Google Nest Cam caught the whole thing.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I just kind of be like, It's like, yeah. No, I don't know what.
So they're like
that was
required to
crazy.
memorize the song
Yeah.
because it's now their theme song. They've adopted it since '97.
Yeah, like okay.
That's
so
how
like,
they make you
Yeah.
think that they're just
They didn't-
cosplayers. They're not actually Men in Black.
Yeah, they didn't have like a cultural cohesive identity until 1997.
No, like they like speak the lyrics when they walk up. Like
Oh.
they close like they
We
like this the bit and
are
like they close the door and they're like
Men in
we are the Men in Black and like they're walking up to your house and it's just like they knock on the door, you know, and it's like hello and it's like we are the Men in Black and it's like damn dude, I love that song, man. It's like what's going on, guys? You know, it's like man, and, like you start singing the song with them.
So they've interrogated you this whole time, and you didn't even know it. because you were having so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is you would tell
brilliant.
everyone.
You would
See?
tell everybody.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd vanish into like a cell somewhere. See, that's what would really creep me out because I
Yes.
imagine the Men in Black doing that. Like normally, like you get thrown into a black bag, whisked away, and then someone like really scary comes and
Yeah.
talks to you after like a few hours. No. They just take you, they throw you in a cell, and like you never ever see or talk to anyone again.
And not only
Yeah.
that,
And that's
they
it.
replace you with someone who looks and talks like you, so no one
Oh,
realizes.
let me
that the
tell you
real
something,
is
Home
gone.
Slice.
Yeah.
Rob Jefferson, he's often imitated, never duplicated.
Unless they made an actual
Irreplaceable,
pie
yeah.
person clone.
Exactly.
Well, then
An
they would
exact
just
quote.
go, well, it's Rob.
What if?
It's a
I'm
person.
going to add to this
Person.
theory.
He's a person that's there.
Here's a
It's
good
a
idea.
person that's there.
They replace him with a clone. The clone then sees an alien artifact,
Okay.
some sort of something alien. Men in Black come back. They talk to the clone, and then they take that clone and they replace him with another clone, and then that clone starts seeing things.
Well, then you end up with
That
Michael
is-
Keaton's multiplicity.
Yeah, exactly. So you just have this endless line of clones. They can't remember which one's the original.
Yeah.
You're
So
you're
all
gonna
of
sell
them-
all your clones.
Yeah.
So about the legitimate topic,
Yes.
is it always alien based?
Yes.
Like something
It is
in the
always
sky, always
extraterrestrial
alien.
based.
So they don't
Always
show up if
extraterrestrial.
like something weird
Yes.
happened here.
So like
Always
if I
alien.
heard
Yeah,
a random
like-
sound or something,
No.
it wouldn't be. If I saw
It is-
something streak through the sky,
Yes.
and I was like, that didn't look like a comet. It
Could-
didn't have a tail, but it was
Could
very
we test
bright.
this?
No.
Could we
I
just
want to
claim to have
test
seen
this.
something
Yes, I want to test
multiple
this.
times? We got footage.
Yeah.
We saw aliens.
Yeah.
Gary got probed in the butt, and just see what
Yeah.
happens.
It's like fire in the sky.
Yeah.
No.
Hold on, did you say Gary got probed in the butt?
You
Yes.
missed that?
How did you miss that?
I was
Yeah.
thinking about fire in the sky.
That was like the highlight of his point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gary getting probed in the butt. I've seen
Anyway.
South Park. He's got a whole Saturday
I was
edition
just
there.
thinking
I've
about
played
that.
the
game.
The anal probe.
That's actually a good question. Yes. Out of all the research that I've done, every single sighting is some sort of extraterrestrial UFO sighting.
Okay.
And it's always in the sky.
Always in this. Well,
Is there always a fire up there too?
I mean,
Part
dude,
of it,
okay.
I didn't realize
I
part of
feel
it was
like
fire.
that's a bad
No,
dad
I-
joke right there.
See, as we
is there
go
always fire
through,
in the
I'm
sky?
starting to wonder that these two
Yeah.
are part of some of these organizations that
No,
are
no,
trying
no,
to sound
no, no,
you
no.
because they get the tangents and the jokes to make us pull away from actually discussing.
So let's
what
not.
it is.
Yeah. So we've talked. Ooh.
He's figuring it out,
Freemasons.
Rob. Time
Wow.
to take care of
Yeah,
Gary.
man.
We got some
The jig is up.
Freemasons in black around here.
The jig is up, man. He's
The
caught us.
FMIB.
He's caught us, Rob.
He's caught us.
Rob, run for the hills.
No, I mean, okay, no, but like in all seriousness though, that actually does make sense to me. Okay, so the plot of the colony is that like an alien invasion takes place on Earth. But instead of like wiping out the whole of humanity, what they do is aliens use a kind of like algorithm to determine who's best for what particular role. So like what they end up doing is they create these colonies where they start dividing the country and the world up into like sections. So you have like the LA colony, the San Francisco colony, and so on and so forth. And so one of the guys, he was an ombudsperson for Stanford, and they said because of the fact that you're crooked and you're on the take and you've done some shady things, you're best to lead the Los Angeles colony because it's Los Angeles. And so he's like you run this whole thing. But the idea is that the humans work with aliens under the idea that when the aliens are done with what they need, then like they'll leave and humanity will be allowed to go back to the way things are supposed to be. It
Right.
sounds like that, except less on the nose.
Yeah.
Like somewhere
Yeah.
along the line, humans drew the attention of extraterrestrials, and they're like, we won't destroy you, but like you need to achieve these certain things, or
Sure.
we will. And like that's the role Men in Black play, is making sure that
Keeping
like
us
no
in
one
check.
knows. Yeah,
Yeah, keeping
no one
us
knows
in
what's
line.
going on, and if anybody sees
Okay.
anything, then it's like no.
No. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And that brings me to this point. Why would somebody feel ill, genuinely like sick after?
Well, I mean, X-Files
After-
did that.
It's
It's like something in the
yes.
bloodstream. So let's assume for a moment
Okay.
Men in Black are alien people coming down to see if we found them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could just be their physiology. It could be the blood in it could be
I was,
anything.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say it could be very much like because if they are of a different species, if they're an alien, they could very easily be putting off some sort of odor. It's kind of
Exactly.
like if because we were talking about gross anatomy earlier. Like when you're near a cadaver, there's the formaldehyde.
Yeah.
And when you smell that too much, you start feeling kind of queasy. And for all we know, maybe these aliens are sweating some sort of agent that causes you to feel ill because it's not something your body is registered or used to.
Okay.
And so you're kind
right
of
there.
getting like
Yeah.
a weird, like, oh, kind of.
I think
That-
that, yeah.
I got
Headache.
one.
Yes.
Is that every time? Every
Most of the time reported.
most of the time.
Yeah.
What if those people found something out and the feeling sick is a memory wiped style thing. That's the after effect.
Yeah, it's like an after effect.
It's a lot more on the nose, though, everything, but like you forgot, you saw the alien's face.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Instead
no,
of Rob's
that makes
flat up,
sense.
you forgot last year.
Because sometimes it feels sick.
And you've just got that nausea of like that you're missing something.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, I feel ill because
something's wrong and you don't know what.
It's kind of like when you're going down the stairs and like there's not a stair there and you step down, you're like, what the?
That is the weirdest
Like,
feeling ever.
It is.
Yeah.
It is because
Or when
you
you're
expect
expecting
it.
one. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
You expect it. So therefore, if your head is expecting to remember this instant that you saw,
Sure.
but every time your head's trying to think of it, it's been wiped. I could see that giving you some sort of ill feeling or headaches or
Or
nausea.
you go to open a gate and it doesn't squeak.
Exactly, and you're like, wait, what's?
Are we back to sliders?
Yeah. I was like, what? I was like, when they thought they were home. No, that actually.
But no,
makes
you're
perfect-
actually no, you're yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
There was, I don't know if you ever saw it. There was a movie called Sphere from back in the day. That had
real quick. I have to use the restroom. I'm just gonna go do it.
oh, okay. there was a movie back in the day called Sphere that had Dustin Hoffman,
the
Sharon
corner, so I was
Stone, and
trying not
Samuel
to.
Jackson.
That's okay.
Huh?
So those in the corner, so I was trying not to.
Oh, okay.
I just can't hold it anymore.
Oh, well. You could just use
alrighty
the
then.
catheter that runs all the way down the hall.
You just hear this trickle. And
Yeah,
then
this
it's
is trickle. These little drips. No, there was this. There was this movie. It's a movie called Sphere, and it had it was Dustin Hoffman, Sharon Stone, and Samuel Jackson. And the U.S. government discovers like a 300-yard long spaceship at the bottom of like some part of the ocean.
Okay.
And so they're like, okay, we got to go investigate. So like Sharon Stone's a biologist, Dustin Hoffman's a psychologist, and Samuel Jackson
Yeah,
is like
this late 80s, early 90s.
It was the
Right.
mid '90s, but it was basically humans
Okay,
from the
mid-90s.
future
Okay,
that ended
okay,
up
okay.
like they flew through a black hole, and that's how the ship ended up on Earth.
Okay, I'm the Abyss is what I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah,
similar
the Abyss.
concept.
Yeah, the Abyss.
Yeah,
That was Ed Harris.
Yes.
that was the early '90s.
Yes.
No, late '80s. I think
late
it
80s,
was.
very late
Yeah.
80s, like 89.
Yeah, because I still had Michael Biehn when he was relevant. So,
Yeah.
what ended up happening? Like it was really cool because they were talking about the ship and they
Yeah.
were like, "Well, we should go in." And like, "Well, for all you know, you have no idea what's going on there."
Yeah.
And Samuel Jackson's like, "They're an alien race," and the largest assumption is that an alien race would be humanoid in design.
You okay?
Damn, dude.
Watch your head, Benny. Watch your head.
I mean, you could just walk around like a normal person.
Yeah.
I had to pull
No.
a Gary.
Oh,
Yeah. But I gotta. Sometimes I need to feel,
Unique.
solid sneakish.
Fair enough.
I need.
Do you have a box that you?
I feel very comfortable in my box. I don't want to talk about it.
you don't want to talk about it?
Yeah.
But no, Samuel Jackson made the exact same point Dan did. He was like, if you're talking about an alien race, then you have no idea what their biology could be. They could inhale oxygen and exhale cyanide gas.
Yeah.
So like you
It's
have
true.
no idea what the impact would be.
Yeah.
But see, to me that was always the cool. It is one of the coolest ideas because I mean, if they exhale a substance that makes some people sick, it doesn't mean everybody's going to be sick. It's like an
Right.
allergy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
so.
Oh
Yeah.
no, go ahead.
No.
Oh, I'll say well, like not everybody's allergic to a peanut allergy, but
No,
you know what I mean,
exactly.
yeah.
So this theory, actually, that there's something just about their physiology that makes humans ill, assuming they're extraterrestrial. That's
Yeah.
where the theory is going.
I mean, the way
actually,
you described it before, it just sounds
Right.
like they are.
Yes.
They don't sound human.
they don't sound human. And
Or
the-
they
the-
at least
the-
sound out of place.
Right.
Like maybe they're
Beyond-
mole people.
Maybe they're mole people.
Mole people.
Well, what I'm just
Beyond-
saying is like
yes.
if the Men in Black,
But
they have to be not normal
Right.
because you can even get a royal guard over at Buckingham Palace to talk eventually if you
Yes.
pass through. Like there would if we've had this many sightings, they would all of them would not sound. You'd have one guy that's just the Man in Black who's had a rough day and his wife just called him up and he's just like, you know what, I don't give a crap about this.
Yeah.
And they go to, just tell me what you know about the aliens.
Yeah.
You know.
Just beats the shit out of you.
Yeah, you'd have one out of place Man in Black if they were here.
Yeah. What time of day was
you
it?
hire an actor to do your
Yeah.
job so it looks normal.
Exactly.
Can you imagine a Man in Black who's just having a rough day and he just pulls up, he's like, I don't want to deal with this. This is just a hillbilly talking about some stupid aliens. He thinks
Just
he's
walk
on.
up.
Yeah.
It's
lip.
just a stupid plane. This is bull. I don't want to be here. My wife's taking the kids. What am I gonna do, Jim? What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I didn't know Men in Black had wives.
Well, they do, and they have names now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and okay.
They're people
So,
too, Gary. They
they are
have
people too.
families and everything.
So
All right, my God, man.
this theory actually very much fits the other descriptions, besides just being in black and sounding funny. Often described as having the complexions with like Asian or gypsy-like features, eyes are often described as strange, sometimes glowing.
Okay, that says alien.
Yeah.
Yes, it
I've never
does.
heard of a human being whose eyes glow.
Yes.
Well, mine do at night.
so
I'm like a raccoon.
I have a
Well, okay, Riddick's eyes did that.
I have a theory. It's very unlikely. It's very unlikely. This is a genuine. I have a genuine theory, guys.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did
It's
you
real.
did you ever see the Riddick movies?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. I don't know if you ever saw the Riddick
I
movies.
saw the first. Well, I saw. Yeah, no, I have seen all of them. Yeah,
seen all of them? Okay.
Claudia Black was in the first one. She did amazingly well, and then her career. Sorry, Claudia.
Yeah, it kind of fizzled.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in the Silent Hill movie, which is terrible. But she was always pretty good looking.
Yeah, she's a great voice actress.
She's pretty hot.
You're trying to deter me from
No,
my
I'm not.
theory, aren't you?
Dan's
I'm just
theory is
talking- I'm
getting
just talking about
accurate.
Yes, it is.
I was
It
talking about
is.
Riddick.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So it's highly, highly, highly unlikely that any extraterrestrial race is going to look like humans,
Okay.
sound like humans, or even physically be able to imitate humans. Despite what we've seen in Star Trek and other series, an alien race could look and sound absolutely nothing like us. So the best thing they can do to infiltrate our society is to create replicas of us. Now, imagine trying to replicate, with your technology, your understanding, replicate an octopus. It might move and sort of look like an octopus, but to other octopi, it'll look off. There'll be just something about that octopus is just off.
They'll just
Like, I don't know
eat
what
that
it
But to
is.
us replicating it, it looks fine.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
It behaves and looks and sounds just like an octopus. Now, I think it would be the same thing for an alien race. And so my theory is that these are actually alien robots
Okay.
sent down to keep us in check, because you don't want this, eight-legged whatever alien walking around the streets. That stands out like a sore thumb. But this would fit, this description, these experiences would fit this concept that either they're robots or they're aliens who have just
It would
created
explain
a
the
genetic
monotonous tone too.
right, some sort of genetic.
If that were
monster.
true,
Speech
if that were
pattern.
true, then it's entirely possible they would be using like non-Earth-based elements,
Yeah,
which could very well put off a radiation that would make
exactly.
people sick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're
Are,
power
are
source.
there women in black? The legit question.
There have been no reports of women in black.
So it's only been men
It's
in
only
black.
ever been men with this complexion, these eyes, this. Kind
That's
of
how you know
olive,
it
very
could be a
olive
thing, because there's
complexion.
no
Yeah.
people going, well, it's actually people in black now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
people.
Like,
No, I was legit asking because you're right. I've only ever heard
Yeah.
of the men in black,
Yeah.
but never heard of like a woman in black.
I identify as a woman in black.
You're not even wearing black to make the joke work.
I got black socks. Counts.
Black something.
Black something.
Black something.
What is next, Gary?
Okay. Let's see here.
got black writing on the front of
Here's
my
another one. Going back into their clothing. So earlier I just gave you guys an overview.
Yep.
This is getting a little more detailed. The clothing, new, always very new black suits, black hats, and sunglasses. Clothing is sometimes described as being made from a strange material.
do we know what kind of hats? Because every time I keep picturing a top hat.
They're
I
like
thought it was like a bowler.
yeah,
they're
bowlers
like
or
fedoras with
fedoras.
bowler
Yeah.
hats. Actually, whenever
Because
I
when I
imagine
hear
men in
black
I never
hats
imagine
with
men in
a,
hats.
like, I don't know about you guys, but when I hear a black hat with a suit, my head goes to top hat.
Good day, sir.
What parties are you watching?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've been to our stream, right? I've got my top hat.
No, I wouldn't mind seeing
If they've
that,
got a
man.
bowler, they need a cane too, so they can spin it.
Just balling.
What did you just turn the men in black into?
A
No, he
musical.
turned him into the Ministry of Silly Walks from
There it
Monty
is.
Python is
Yeah.
what he did. So they just come walking in looking all goofy. Yes, we're the Men in Black from the Ministry of Silly Walks.
Okay, well, I just.
Okay.
For some reason, my head kept like picturing these people walking around black suit, top hat. Like, what? How do you fit in with a top hat?
I mean, I think it'd be.
Maybe
I mean,
you don't.
But even
you
with a
don't.
bowler hat,
Maybe
you,
their
like,
maybe their understanding of our culture is like people wear hats. What's a hat? I guess it looks like this. Let's make them wear those.
It's where their
but-
antenna is.
I mean, I
Yeah.
would think with an I would think
They're
of an
robots.
extraterrestrial race. Okay,
Yeah.
an extraterrestrial race capable enough to achieve interstellar travel would have to be sufficiently more intelligent and advanced than humanity.
Right.
And if that's the case,
Sure.
I have a hard time believing they would be silly enough to create what they think are humans. We're not talking about wizards, right?
Right.
It's not Arthur Weasley trying
Yeah.
to be a human. Like it's literally
Muggle.
like
Excuse
a
me.
muggle, whatever, man.
Muggle.
A non-magic person.
Not the nomag. Anyway, the American version of the.
Are you serious
Yes.
right
Yeah, I'm totally serious.
now? My God.
Go back.
Go
Go back to
Okay.
This
your
wasn't a bad movie.
Fabulous Beasts.
Fabulous beasts. I'm Grindelwald. I'm fabulous. Fabulous beasts and where to find them. Peacocks running around with their feathers out and making
I am wearing my
songs.
unicorn shirt.
Yeah. Okay.
Fabulous beast.
Yeah. Like they have just these
Yeah.
beautiful outfits, you know.
Fabulous Beasts.
Fabulous
What were
beasts.
you, okay, so this alien race would have to be sufficiently advanced.
Oh, I have no idea
to
where I was
travel.
going. Oh yeah, no. Okay.
no,
Yeah.
no.
So
What
the,
happened to your superpower, Rob?
So the so alien beasts, the fabulous aliens, they would have, in order to achieve interstellar travel, they would have to be significantly or sufficiently more advanced than humanity.
Yeah.
And are you serious, man?
I'm a fabulous beast.
You're sure?
Fabulous
Hide my
distraction.
All right. So if they're advanced enough to achieve interstellar travel,
Yeah.
then they're way ahead of humans. All right. I would have a hard time believing that an alien race that advanced would be incapable of duplicating humans down to a T.
Yeah.
See, because when you say that, like, as we were just saying, that aliens out there, there's very, very unlikely that they would be human-like, that they would look very different and all of that. So that could imply that in these other places, the way that they think and the way that their sciences work or all of that could be so different from the way ours do that they would come up with different creations.
I mean, maybe, but the laws of physics are universal unless you're talking about a black
Well,
hole.
that's what we think.
Aside
here.
from that, they don't. Well, no, that's what we know. Like they don't.
That's what we know here.
No, that's what we know as an absolute truth. Like mathematics
But
is
have
a
you
universal
gone to
language.
a different planet to test those?
Okay, no, I haven't. But,
Then
but
it's not an absolute truth.
Exactly.
are you kidding me right now?
Well,
We're in a conspiracy podcast,
Yes.
Rob.
I guess. Okay, fine.
I mean-
Then I'll take that and I'll go with it. I'll say okay, fine. I mean, I get that, but what I'm saying is that to me, an alien race that advanced, unless it was like a panic thing, you know, like the world gets obliterated, and they're like, oh, we got to take over, we got to go find another world, and they stumble across Earth because they're 23 light years away. We're basically their neighbors, so they're like, whatever, we'll take over their place. Unless it's something like that, then I would imagine you're talking about an alien race that's been studying humans for quite some time, or at the very least from the atomic age going forward. And even if at the outset, and from 47 going forward for like the next 10 years, they were pretty weird and off, you would think that like as the longer they studied humans, the more consistent their technology would become, or their ability to copy humans would become, the better they would get at it.
Sure.
And so the better they got at it, the more difficult it would be to distinguish a man in black from a normal human being.
What if that
that's-
ties into your movie
that's-
theater? What if they nailed it? You know, around 97,
Yeah.
98. So the whole theory was to get that movie out there.
Yeah.
So you couldn't find any evidence of them. And that's why
Sure.
you can't find evidence now because they made them so good at this point.
Yes.
and they made them act a certain way in the movie that if they act that way now, people would assume that they're replicating the movie.
So Will Smith is an alien, is what we're saying
Yes.
here.
Alien
Dude,
ro-
I would totally
alien
believe that.
robot.
Have you seen that man?
Alien
Oh
robot.
yeah, he's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody
You've
would
seen
make
his
nobody.
Jaden,
He's an
right?
alien robot
Yeah.
that went rogue.
Yeah, nobody would make music like Will Smith and actually believe it's good. Like no. Like that guy.
Jaden proves they're aliens, though.
Yeah, only an
Jaden
alien.
proves they're aliens.
Yeah.
Tweet
like
that.
only an alien would be rocking out to a Will Smith album. Like I'm just.
Hey, one of my first albums, CDs, was Big Willie Style.
Okay, Miami was a good song.
Miami was a good song.
Miami was a good song. I'll
Yeah,
give him that.
okay.
All right, but everything else was kind of crappy.
Yeah.
So here's my question about what you were saying, though. So they've been studying humans.
Yes.
You were saying that if they came here, it's because they had been like studying humans and they're trying to replicate us. If humans left Earth now to go find another alien race or another sentient life, we wouldn't know that. We wouldn't like it, because imagine it from their point of view of it's these people or these aliens were just traveling space. They weren't expecting anything. They came across Earth, then they found out about who we were or what we were. And that brings up they would have to have done it very quickly because that would have been for them to have seen that we are humans, someone would have had to be able to see what we were doing. And that could explain a kind of a quick copy of crap, this is kind of what they looked like. Like you remembered them with glowing eyes, right? Yeah, we had the light on them and it was glowing. So yeah, they've got to have glowing eyes. Because like if we went out right now and we
aliens
went,
land with their headlights on. Turn off the headlights, Jim!
How many times am I going to tell you, man? Don't turn off your brights when you're in the city. Jeez.
but like, because whenever we always think of aliens coming here, we always imply that they have been studying humans, that they've known who we were, and they've been wanting to intermingle with us. But every time we talk about humans as a whole going into space to simply find intelligent life, we don't know what we're looking for. So how did they know what they were looking for and where it was, whereas we would be in the same situation where we would go off and we would do certain things? Because if we're implying that they also have the same intelligence and logic behind the way that their sciences or their anything works. It kind of just, I don't know, it kind of falls into what you were saying of they come here and they have these quick copies, robots or whatever, or, I mean, if we could even call them robots. I mean, if they are aliens, everything about them is alien. It's so different from what we do.
I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Know.
And like that, see, to me, that argument would work, and it would stand to reason if like they had only encountered us from like the atomic age going forward.
Sure.
But that invokes a whole idea of like of alien theories going back like thousands of years.
Yeah.
Like 30, 40, 50,000 years since like just before and during the rise of like modern man.
Yeah.
So like if you're talking about a race that's been monitoring humans for that long, then like they would have had to have gotten better.
But what
at
if it
duplicating
was,
humans.
because I mean, yes, those were different aliens. How do we know they're the same?
Yeah.
Okay, this
yeah,
is
how
not
do we-
this
how
is
do we
not
know-
falling. This is not falling.
I'm sorry.
What's that movie or that show? Oh my God,
Falling Skies?
Falling Skies. Where like the aliens who invaded Earth are actually like being oppressed by another alien group, which are being oppressed by another alien group. Like where it's just
I've
like,
never seen that show. That's
oh no,
never
dude,
seen that.
Falling Skies is amazing. Like so, the Earth is like attacked in an alien invasion, and you end up finding out that like that.
Noah Wiley's in that, right?
Do what?
Noah Wiley?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so you end up finding out that like the aliens that attacked Earth were like press ganged into the attack by an alien race that's ruling them. And then you find out like another alien race is ruling the second race, which is ruling the first race. And it gets like it's dude, it gets so good. Yeah, there's like this huge like complex structure of just like the top alien race.
Yeah.
It got a little like
So you
out
start
of hand.
feeling bad for the race that just like,
Right.
annihilated your
Yeah, because
civilization.
like they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
They're like we don't want to do this, but like we have to. Dude, the show gets so good. Falling Skies is
interesting.
amazing.
so
like-
question. Okay.
yes.
Or what? Because before I forget, what you were saying with the whole like it has to be the same one. The reason why I'm thinking it couldn't is think of the number of times on Earth that different civilizations have gone to a new area of land and assumed that they were the first, but there were still other people there that had gotten there first, or other people that had gotten there a different way.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's why I say like the
Like,
argument
it's-
would hold up. I mean that's why I'm not ruling out the possibility of multiple races. That's why I say to me the argument would only really hold up if it was from like 1947 going forward. But again, you're talking about a group that can achieve interstellar travel, which basically means in order to be able to travel at any real meaningful speed, they're running up to, if not like at the speed of light, possibly a little bit slower. I mean I don't know if the Star Trek law applies to to like real life physics. But anyway, moving somewhere fast enough that they can traverse like massive distances in an extremely short amount of time, if they haven't already mastered the art of just creating wormholes, basically, and just skipping through
Boom
space.
tubes.
Yeah, boom tubes, basically. And just like folding space in on itself and jumping forward. But regardless of what it is, like they've achieved a level of science and technology that's sufficient enough to travel what should basically be impossible distances in a reasonable amount of time. And that's especially the case if one, you're talking about a race that's facing possible extinction by fleeing their dying planet, which means they're only on a limited number of time. Two, if you're talking about a race that's just exploring things, then they have, unless they're like a race that has a insanely long lifespan, then like their purpose of like exploring the stars has to be met with the possibility of like we have to get from point A to point B within a reasonable amount of time. So then you're talking about like achieving huge leaps forward in science and technology, and then showing up to Earth. It makes sense to me that like they would get better at creating duplicates of humans.
Right.
Well,
we've
I got to
already-
counter
yeah.
that.
What's that?
Why do they need to?
I was actually just
Well,
about
if they
to
want to
won-
infiltrate humanity, I mean,
But
that's-
if their purpose is to just check what you've seen and see if you've seen too much,
yeah.
why have it better? Because I mean, they've done a good job up to this point.
That's what I was
That's
actually
a good
wondering
point.
as well.
Yeah.
Is why is because the only time we hear of these is when they're trying to silence someone from seeing something.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah, they're not secret police.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
don't
like, they're not
suppress
going-
political opposition.
Yeah.
They show up with an improper version.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, well, these work, so whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like they're like the
works.
Ford of the universe. It's like it doesn't have to last forever. It just has to last for a little while.
I got a question though. You said 1947. What year is Roswell?
It's 60 something.
Oh, was
Okay.
it 60 something?
So they were here
No, I
before
thought
Roswell.
Roswell was in the 40s.
Oh,
Maybe it
Roswell
was-
is much earlier than that. The exact date.
I can't remember.
couldn't
All
tell
I
you.
know is that I know it from Futurama.
I thought Roswell was in like the 40s or 50s.
I thought it was debunked.
1947.
Oh, was it?
1947.
That's what I thought.
That's pretty convenient.
That is very convenient.
That's what I said at the beginning of the podcast. Like Roswell
This-
in 40s.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was
Yeah.
thinking that, but I just wanted to make sure. Like,
So I want to propose my last theory. I actually like this one more than the robot theory.
okay,
That these are just alternate dimension versions or parallel universe versions of ourselves.
Dude, I would take that. In a
I
heartbeat.
like that because
with-
that
I
would
like
be a
that.
mysterious
Yes.
light that has nothing in space or
That's
anything.
how they're exploring this parallel world.
Yeah.
so
It's
French.
so French, maybe. I guess
The
I never
French?
watched it.
I like how every
I
one
never
of our
watched
theories
it.
always has us referencing 10 different sci-fi shows.
It's
Yeah,
because
hold on.
those
What is this
people are
French?
making them.
You've
too.
never seen Fringe?
Fringe.
Oh, Fringe.
Not
I
the
thought you said
French.
French.
No.
I'm like French.
No, Fringe. Love that show, by the way.
Oh, dude,
I
Fringe
never
was
watched.
awesome.
Yeah, I never watched it.
Oh, dude.
Oh my God,
I
Gary.
know.
Dude, Fringe is like a modern
know.
day X-Files, but not as cool.
Maybe I'm a man in
X-Files
black.
is cooler. But
Yeah.
no,
I
Fringe
was
is
so,
The
like,
reason the concept of
outdated
Fringe-
and-
and I think
Yeah.
Fringe even had Men in Black that were
Okay.
from the other dimension.
Okay.
Yeah, Fringe is.
I did not
see,
know that.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I actually like that idea a lot
Like
more.
humans from a different dimension who have managed to achieve like interdimensional travel.
Yes.
And are exploring like other Earths.
That would make more sense
Yeah.
too, because if
would.
it's a UFO thing. One question I've always had about UFO sightings.
Sure.
Why have we never seen them coming here?
Yeah.
You know what I
That
mean? Like,
we
detected them
have
coming here.
so much technology in space
Yes.
Yeah.
to monitor this stuff.
I mean,
We would
I
see
get
it.
the whole NASA.
Yes.
Oh, NASA's covering it up. There are so many other people looking
Sure.
into space. That,
Oh no, I can tell you
Yeah.
why.
What?
They're doing halo jumps from Jupiter. They can stay off the radar. Like, all right, guys, we're sending you
that's
into
a
Earth
long
with a halo jump.
That's a long halo jump.
That's what that is.
It's like one of those things. He's like, ah.
Yep.
Are we there yet?
Pan out, and he's just
Yeah.
3 years.
Speed up faster. He's moving at normal speed.
Normal speed.
But they still have to have the flare though. Like the flare on the
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So the Men in Black. I think that's the most plausible explanation.
Just, I think dimensional makes more sense.
Yeah.
Dimensional
Yeah.
does make more
Yes.
sense.
I mean, plausible
Because
explanation.
it would also
that's
it would make sense as
still a
to
little
why
outlandish.
as to how they look so similar to us yet are still slightly different,
Something's
as
off.
opposed to
Something's
some
off.
creature
Yeah.
out in space
Yeah.
somehow being able to go, oh, we know how to make
Yeah,
robots
and-
too
right.
in the exact same manner that would work for this
in their
society.
parallel world, they have glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it helps them see in the dark.
I-
or whatever.
In
I
their
know-
world,
yeah.
I have one way I
nuclear.
know this is going to be resolved. I'm going to figure this out.
What?
All we need is the Men in Black to show up on somebody in deep South Kentucky or deep South North Carolina to ask questions and just get blasted in the chest with a shotgun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, dude, have a man in
Yeah.
black show up on somebody's door in Rockcastle County.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, man, they'll take you right out.
That's what I'm saying.
The problem
You're
is
on my
they'll bury him out
property
back.
now.
They'll shoot him and bury him out back.
Yeah.
No. Okay, but see, here's the funny thing though. If they are humans from a different dimension, that actually terrifies me more.
Yeah.
It does.
Than like extraterrestrials, because like if they whisked you off to the dimension, like you'd go insane. Because
Yeah.
who knows
do you
what
know?
you would see?
I
Your
mean, how
mind
do you
would be
know?
able to.
What if
Maybe
you just went over there and you're just like, wow, this looks weird?
Maybe you make them feel sick. Maybe we make them feel sick, and they leave, and they're like, "Ugh, these humans, like these Earth One or whatever."
Another
humans, Yeah.
poisoned dimension onto
Yeah.
the next one.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's Dan's from the other dimension.
Okay.
Dance.
Dan thinks GUR is spelled GRR, and I said
Yeah.
GIR like on the
Yeah.
Dude,
packaging.
you've been slipping
Sure.
through parallel worlds, you don't even know it.
Oh my God,
It's
you're,
just
dude,
it
you
would-
are-
through.
That would
Yeah.
explain my lack of an attention span
Yeah.
and memory.
Yes.
and-
dude, you are like
Not the
Worf.
weed at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you're Worf from the next
Okay, I
generation.
got a story to go with that real
Okay.
quick. It's just
okay.
a funny tangent
Yeah,
story.
And we should wrap this up soon.
Yeah. Okay, well, if
Yes.
you want to wrap up, I can do the tangent story to go with
go,
Okay,
go.
About falling through dimensions.
Okay.
So I come to Colorado the very first time. I'm not going to name names here because he's a friend and stuff like that.
Sure.
I come out here and a buddy decides he's going to bake recreational brownies, but doesn't know how to bake recreational brownies.
Oh my
Oh
God.
God.
So
No.
Recreational
Natalie and I are
Please tell
staying
me
in a
that-
hotel, and I wake up to 7 voicemails the next morning because I have my phone on mute.
God.
So like unless you have the way to get through it, you can't call me.
Yeah.
And it's like a story. The voicemails. Hey guys, I'm gonna cook up these brownies. I'm not really sure the amount I should put in them, so I'm just throwing the whole bag in if you want to come by.
That's,
Wow.
Followed by the next one. Hey guys, I'm feeling a little weird. I just wanted to call and let you know the brownies are still here if you want to come eat some. Followed by, hey guys, things are getting weird. I think I'm seeing into another dimension. It may be in front of me. I don't quite know what's going on. Followed by, Guys, I'm half falling through the dimension. I am half in another dimension. You really should come check this out. Followed by, seriously, help me. I can't get back. I don't know what's going on. Followed by, hey guys, all's good. Everything kind of wore off.
Wow.
That sounds like someone that just took it, put it in the oven, didn't realize that oven burns it, and that's why you got to do other stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's hilarious, though.
I think yes.
That's hilarious.
Next day,
So-
he was just kind of like, sorry about all that. Don't really know what happened.
It's very
Dude,
calm,
I would have
very reasonable.
recorded him and just
Yeah.
put him online.
Oh man, that does actually remind me of a recording that was taken from like a radio show a long time ago, like late '90s, I think, because everything I reference is the '90s apparently. Anyway, what do we think? What is the general consensus? What
I
is
think
what is
there's
our
real
assumption?
plausibility behind this. But I'm not sure about the dimension. I'm not sure about the aliens. I will say at a bare minimum, there is a branch of the government, unknown, unsaid, that is their purpose is to find out what's legit.
Okay.
Maybe they've been trained to speak
that
a
makes
different
sense.
way, so it feels off, or something along those lines. Who knows?
Right.
I will say there is the Men in Black.
Sure.
Yes.
They could just be unnamed branch of government 2 towns over.
We have
but
unexplained photos of these men in black.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Yes.
they exist. I don't know if I believe I like the idea of the dimensions. I don't think they're aliens.
Okay.
But I say that they at least exist.
Okay. There's something.
There's
Yeah.
something out
I
there.
would go with that. I'd say,
Okay.
yeah, there's definitely like a group of men in black that are out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely
What do you
think that there could be men in black out there. Who knows? Maybe they're. Yeah, I actually have no idea. I can't.
But you think
the
they
government
exist?
thing sounds like it could be the most plausible because it could be them going, "We need you to stay silent until we know what that was that you saw." Not a "We don't want you to have known what you saw," but a "We don't know what it is either. Let's prevent widespread panic. You stay quiet. We're gonna figure it out." Hey, it turns out it was just a firework.
I mean, I will say,
Right,
in my
yeah.
experiences with the military and the government, I have run into people of branches that the branch has no name.
I have to believe those
Interesting.
exist.
They'll,
Otherwise,
they'll
yeah.
show up
They
and you're
have
like,
to.
"Are you FBI, NSA?" And they're like, "I can't tell you what I am."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Well, what
That
are
always-
you?"
that always
"I'm not
brings
one
the
you
question
know."
where
and
you
that's,
go,
and that's all
yeah.
it's worth left. I'm not one you know. And I'm like,
Sure.
okay, I don't want to know more.
At that point, you don't.
I don't want to
Yeah.
know what you are.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And you, I mean, any like sufficiently powerful enough government has to have a branch like that, or multiple branches like
Black Ops, basically.
that. Black Ops, basically. Yeah, exactly.
Some wet
The
work.
men in Black Ops.
The Men in Black, nice. So I think that's my assumption too, is that they exist. We don't necessarily know what they are. I would like to, maybe not like to think that they're from another dimension because that's scary as much as it is interesting.
Yeah.
There was and I'm gonna close this out. If you guys want to Google this, I'm gonna bring it up in the next episode. There was a recording that was taken from a radio show where this guy called in back in the 90s. This guy called in a panic, in an absolute panic. Said that he
Is
worked
this
at
Coast to Coast AM?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You know the recording?
Yes.
Yes. So he calls in this panic, says he worked at Area 51, that he's on the run, that he just wanted to get this information out there, that these extraterrestrials are actually interdimensional beings and they're going to take over the United States, blah, blah, blah. Just freaking out. Power goes out on the radio station. Totally goes out on the radio station. The entire radio program is just cut off the air.
Wait, that part I didn't know about.
Yes. In the middle of this guy's freak out. And power comes back, backup generator turns on. They said, well, this is strange. We just lost our caller. Our power went out in the middle of this guy's freak out. Guy calls back like a couple days later, says, hey, it's me. It was a total prank, but I do think what happened is weird. He said, how could my prank, my joke, possibly be that accurate? He said, I thought I was making it up. And so they start having this whole conversation about how this guy's just making it all up, but that his made up story was maybe close enough to the truth that somebody had to cut the power
That
on
they
the
thought
conversation.
he actually did know the truth.
Yes, exactly.
Huh.
See, okay, in a circumstance like that, like I would think that I would think it's a coincidence, because I would think that in
Yeah.
a circumstance where if he stumbled upon the truth,
Yeah.
then like they would have whisked his ass away.
Maybe
like,
he didn't,
he would have.
but he was just making it up on the
Maybe-
fly.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
if they
Actually-
believe that's like you walking into a federal building and saying like, I have information. There's a bomb in here. Like, okay, well
Yeah.
then obviously they're going to take you to the side,
Yeah.
and you're going to be taken to another building, a
Yeah.
very 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 secure building, and
What-
you're going to be
hold-
questioned by men
Maybe.
in strange
Yeah,
outfits.
maybe.
But-
What if in that situation, though, it was someone from Area 51. They were speaking the truth. And it took a couple days because they needed someone to fill in his spot to basically call in and being like, oh, it was a prank. How convenient that happened. Haha, joke. Don't take it seriously.
Discrediting the entire phone call.
Discrediting the entire phone call.
Yeah.
And that person is what you were afraid of. They are in a cave somewhere. No one's going to ever hear from them again.
Or they were visited by the Men in Black.
They did know.
No.
And they were neuralized.
They're neuralized.
Okay.
I'm gonna look.
Because otherwise,
Yeah.
well, because I
It's
mean,
like the
that
scariest
brings up the
conversation I've ever
question
listened to in my
of
life.
if it was a prank and that happened, why didn't they call back the next day? Why didn't they call back after it got power? Why did it take a couple days for them to call back and make sure that they said, "I called previously.
Yes.
I was saying this. It was a prank." Why did it take him so long to not go, like, call right after and be like, oh, wow, that was really funny. No, it was a joke. Or why didn't he just keep quiet the whole time? It sounds like someone coming in to discredit and kind of make people go,
Cover up.
Cover up.
Cover it up.
Under the rug.
Both explanations are plausible.
Yeah.
You know.
It's interesting.
So yeah. Any last thoughts?
No, I mean, like I said, the Men in Black seem like probably one of the more reasonable things to exist. If for no other reason than the fact it's like you said, like any government that's big enough has to have like an unidentified intelligence group that like the president doesn't know who they answer to.
Sure.
Like it's just a guy who's standing just off every single camera shot ever.
The Freemasons.
With the Freemasons.
It's the group without red tape.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that one guy he's been the guy who's been like talking in the ear of every president for the last like 30 years.
Sure.
And before him, it was a guy, and it was always the same thing. I mean, I have to believe like that exists.
Sure. I'm
Like
sure it
those-
does. Yeah.
I have to believe that's
Yeah.
true. But I do actually like the idea of them being interdimensional humans.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I don't.
It's actually
same
one of
time.
those ones where it's, you like the idea, that would be cool. If it actually happened, scare the shit out of you.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
if it was an
Yeah.
actual
Oh, yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
but as just a theory, you're like, oh yeah, that's super cool. But if a guy just popped in right over there, all of a sudden we'd be like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
you said
I
it, I
was-
looked over. Could
I
you
know.
imagine? Whoa! Ah!
I know somebody who was doing some like conspiracy research online. It was a long time ago, like 2004. My references are all old. And he was just doing a lot of this, like just searching online for different conspiracy theories, you know, just doing research, and ended up getting some sort of email that basically told him to back off. From an unknown source, had no idea where the email came from, had no idea, like, just couldn't explain this email, but it was just this very direct, blunt, like, stop doing what you're doing kind of email.
Well,
and that was
let's
it.
end it on this
Yeah.
note. Doing the research of these episodes,
Yes.
if you got one of those emails,
I'd keep
how
going.
quickly would Conspiracy Cast be done?
I would go to like surface conspiracies.
Some of them were talking about
like
the Burger King theory.
yes, the Burger King theories. I would go to like business.
I feel like it would go from we do these ones to Gary starts going, well, here's a conspiracy. I mean, I ran out of ideas. The conspirament's over. Unfortunately, I couldn't make
there just
sure.
aren't any conspiracies out there.
at all.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about film theories from now on. And yeah, that's
do
actually
that,
a good
yeah, I can
question.
see that.
What would I do?
What would you do? Yeah,
I mean,
you
I have
like
a
go look at
daughter-
Like, you,
yeah.
just, you just get a single email from
yeah.
an unknown sender, and it just
Yeah.
says, "Stop."
Stop. You're going to do this now, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I know.
You're going to say unknownsender@gmail.com.
Unknown sender at
Aliens use
gmail.com.
I would not do that to you. I would not do that to
I
you.
Yeah,
would
no.
register a website called Unknown so that it was
Unknown.
unknown at unknown.com.
But then I just search you and be like, who's what business
All right,
is
let's
this?
wrap- let's wrap this up.
It would go to
We
a
need to
picture
wrap
of
this
me
up.
going,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Okay. All right. So thank you for joining us for this episode of Conspirament. I am Gary. This is
Dan?
Rob.
Benny.
great.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. Men in Black exist in some form. They're a thing that exists.
Yeah.
There, I think
They are a thing
Yeah.
that exists.
So anyway, thank you for
Wow.
joining us, and join us again for the next video when that comes out.
Yeah. Peace.